Welcome to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. 4 straight women's basketball games coming your way today. A doubleheader in Greensboro and a doubleheader in Greenville. It's ACC and SEC. The seniors know the drill. Alyssa Usby in her 147th North Carolina game. And Isaiah James, her 126th NC State game, as these two rivals go head-to-head. And we welcome you to the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament. It's the 5-seed North Carolina. They've already picked up a couple of wins here, and the 1-seed NC State. And the winner of this one will get into the ACC championship game for the 19th time in their rich histories. For Carolina, they were able to avenge a loss in the regular season to Florida State. They beat them yesterday in the quarters. And it was a close one for NC State. The top seed survives, and a 1-point win over Georgia Tech. So here's how things are shaping up. Our first matchup of the day, NC State, North Carolina, followed by Notre Dame and Duke. The winners are into the championship tomorrow, when we will have a triple header of championship games coming your way. And welcome courtside, everybody. I'm Beth Mullins, along with the Naismith Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli. A terrific showdown in a rematch. North Carolina won in the regular season, Debbie. But if you love guard play, you're going to love this NC State team. You're going to love watching unscripted basketball, because that's the way NC State plays. When they are able to break off the offense at any point, late clock, late opportunities. They have multiple players off the bounce. Isaiah James leads the team in scoring. I think she's an All-American. Sanaya Rivers, when she is rebounding, she gets NC State into their transition game. And then Zoe Brooks, the most improved player in the ACC, crafty at finishing around the rim. They're going to need all of that to go against a really stingy North Carolina defense. Unscripted, Beth, breaking it off, going one-on-one is going to be important today. Big three is hard to stop. They will face Carolina and Alyssa Usby, one of the top all-around talents in the country. You can look at her numbers. 18 rebounds yesterday, a career high over Florida State, but it's all the detail. It's the attention to the little things. She is incredibly motivated. She has a motor. She is engaged on every possession. She guards 1 through 5. She rebounds to get them in their transition game. Nothing's going to be easy here this afternoon. And what a difference maker. Look at when she is on the floor and not for North Carolina. She is one to watch this afternoon. A lot at stake for both these clubs. We'll get into it as the day progresses, but first and foremost, when it's Carolina, NC State, it's about the upper hand over your neighbor, over your spouse, over your coworker. It's a turf war on Tobacco Road this afternoon for a spot in the ACC championship. Underway with Carolina grabbing the first possession. Guarding the ball, not the action. Critical for both teams today. NC State doesn't turn it over. They don't foul. They don't make a lot of mistakes on their own. North Carolina has to stay aggressive, and they're really good in their high-low game. Right away, they're going to it. Gakdang will drop it off for India Navarre. And NC State able to keep it alive. Good hustle play for Zoe Brooks. A lot of these Wolfpack starters return from their Final Four team a year ago, looking to get back in back-to-back seasons. And for North Carolina State, Courtney Bangert's best team that she's had here, now in her 6th season, trying to get back to the finals for the first time in 11 years for Carolina. And it's Maria Gakdang with the first bucket. It's going to be the 6'3" senior Gakdang against the 6'6" freshman early on. Both possessions for North Carolina, trying to establish their play on the baseline first. Isaiah James with a touch, defended by Lexi Donarski, a former Big 12 Defender of the Year from her days at Iowa State. And she is also their top 3-point threat. Good news for Carolina, both Usby and Renaya Kelly, who missed games late in the regular season, are back for the ACC tournament. Isaiah James face guarding Donarski in the quarter court, being aggressive in that matchup. Gakdang getting a touch every time down the floor, and the kick out to Usby for 3. If Alyssa Usby
This game's going to get really interesting. She has made 17 on the season, and in the last 8 games, she's made 8.
Here's James off the bounce. Renaya Kelly forcing a tough shot. And then Gakdeng stepped out of bounds.
Watch Alyssa Usby right here is going to flash into the open space. What you want to do is be in the slot right here. Because Gakdeng is posting up so hard, she draws the help by Hayes. And then Gakdeng makes a great read and hits it to Usby for an open jumper.
Traeger has it knocked loose, weak side by India Navarre, and now Usby with the push. Brooks riding her the whole way, and then Zoe gets a steal.
NC State's got to get something going to the basket. You have to put some pressure on North Carolina's back line.
Usby with a block, and there's Traeger to clean it up.
Wolfpack run a 4-out, 1-in, and the 1-in has been the most improved part of their offense. And Traeger at 6'6", a freshman, as the season has gone on, has gotten more aggressive and more confident for Westmore on the interior.
Usby, and called for the travel. Courtney Banghart has put together the top scoring defense and the second best field goal percentage defense in the league. And they came into this weekend hoping to host as a 4 seed. Now they're fighting for a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
You know, I bet they win today. I think they bump up a line. I think, and they're already, to me, a host team. Triangle's going to have 3 teams hosting in the NCAA tournament.
Going to be great for fans in this area. Good to hit all 3 spots. Traeger, Usby got a shoulder into her and is called for the foul.
How about 6'6" Traeger ripping it through and putting it on the deck for Westmore? I love the way she has developed. She came here as a European player, never playing with her back to the basket. Westmore told us his first recruiting trip to go watch her play, she went 5 for 6 from the 3-point line. He walked out of the gym and said, sign her.
12.6 rebounds for her yesterday in their squeaker over Georgia Tech. They are hoping, too, that both Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers get it cooking early today. Their plus-minus yesterday, they were both negative numbers.
Sanaya Rivers battling flu-like symptoms, did get an IV after the game, playing 33 minutes yesterday. And I spoke to her before the game. She said she feels 100% better.
Here's Renaya Kelly, who had a couple of clutch shots late in the game yesterday to help them advance. Donarski's first 3-ball is off the mark. Brooks.
Yeah, see, that's 1-on-4. That's probably not a good decision.
And that leads to Kelly with the sprint out and a little too much mustard on the pass for Navarre. Traeger will put up the 3, and the big girl knocks it down.
Are you kidding me? Isaiah James almost winks at her before she passes her the basketball.
29% on the season, but her confidence hasn't waned outside.
That's where the game is right now on the women's side. I love a 6'6" knocking down triples.
Here comes Rivers. They all have the ability to rebound and then run it out themselves.
I thought NC State was really slow out of the gate yesterday, and a lot of that had to do with Georgia Tech. But today, they look like they got their engine revving a little bit earlier.
They're going to need it. Their worst scoring quarter and their worst scoring halves of the season were in that Carolina game during the regular season.
How about your 6'6" running the wing, not the middle of the floor? And then Isaiah James with the confidence to give it up right here.
Can we say James knew where the shooter was in the trail?
Absolutely knew where the shooter was. That's what I call 3 W's, right? Who to get the ball to, when, and where. You got to know personnel.
This time it's the pick and the roll and the assist. James to Traeger.
This is setting up to be a great game because Usby hit a 3 and Traeger's hit a 3, and now Traeger's on a screen and roll to the rim, and the guards haven't even gotten started yet.
And is that an offensive foul on Usby? Whoa, that is her second.
Mark it down, 5:07 in the first quarter.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a tough one right there. Got to adjust to the whistle.
She will stay in the game right now with 2 fouls. Madison Hayes will attack her, can't hit the free throw.
I love the call by Wes Moore. What a good job of going right at her while she's in the game.
8-5 State early. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Senior Alyssa Usby loves the idea of North Carolina hosting in the NCAA tournament. Taylor Tannenbaum has more on her after we hear from Alyssa.
This drive to host has been something that has been really my center focus for a long time when it comes to the opportunity to do it because of the community that we have back in Chapel Hill. There are so many families with kids and all these supporters that we have. And as somebody that is trying her best to lead this group, I just want to give it back to the people that continue to fill Carmichael and to make playing basketball at this school such a special experience.
Alyssa, who has spent her entire college career playing at Carolina, really feels a sense of obligation to this community, and the community loves her right back. But here's the kicker about Alyssa. She didn't get to play on her senior day last week at Carmichael because of injury. Courtney Banghart admits she actually thought about starting Usby despite not being cleared to play because she wanted her star player to get that ovation she so deserves. That didn't happen, so Coach was hoping this team would keep winning, lock up home court for the postseason, get Alyssa that moment back, and guys, it's looking like the Heels are going to do just that.
Well, and the Heels have adjusted. They showed man, they switched to zone, and they're trying to protect Usby with those 2 fouls.
Sanaya Rivers tries to shoot over the top of it. James with an offensive rebound. Yeah, Alyssa has meant so much to this Carolina program over the course of the last 5 seasons. The grad student out of Rochester, Minnesota. One of their all-time leading rebounders, number 2 presently. She's got over 1,500 points as well as James hits the deck and stays down in the lane. And now a whistle to stop play. The athletic trainer and Wes Moore immediately out to check on Zion. Wes Moore's wondering if there was not a whistle.
No, there's not a whistle. Called. There's no whistle. So if the officials decide to go look at it, the only thing they can do is upgrade it to an intentional foul. Let's see what happens right there. There's the push through the screen. That's involving Gokdang.
She grabbed the side of her face.
Looks like maybe her shoulder.
Was it a shoulder into her cheekbone? And she is holding her head as they help her over to the bench. Number 10 in white, right there in the middle of the lane. So James out for the moment.
How about Courtney Banghart trusting Alyssa Usby with those 2 fouls?
Zan Jones, who just replaced Isaiah James, hits the 3.
Well, you got to know where the 3-point shooters are on both sides. And Donarski's the best 3-point shooter for North Carolina, number 20 in blue with the ball.
One of the top active 3-point shooters in the country over the course of her career. Trieger rebounds the Grant miss. Grant and Townsend now both on the floor for Carolina.
Jones and Hayes, the 2 best 3-point shooters. North Carolina back in their man-to-man. You got to look to attack Usby.
Rivers. Shot clock winding down. Hayes will come to set the screen. And now they're in big trouble. And a turnover.
Well, Hayes picks up, or excuse me, Rivers picks up her dribble. This right here is Zam Jones knocking down the 3. Big bucket for the freshman without a sweat.
And James, they immediately covered her head with the towel as well. And now they will take her back to the locker room.
Remember, she took a shot in the Notre Dame game at NC State, came back with a Band-Aid on her face.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Townsend setting the screen. So the Carolina drought is now over 5 minutes as NC State has rattled off 11 in a row. And just as significant, if not more so, is James heading back to the locker room. Usby has now checked out, so both sides down their best player.
Play through the nail right here. Trieger face up. You got to get some cuts through the lane. You got to get a piece of the paint against this defense.
Hayes will try for three and hit it. Assisted by Jones. 14-0 run.
North Carolina needs to look to Gokdang right here. They need to get a ball inside. Let her post up and go to work against the freshman.
Grant, and she took an extra step. A lot of 1v1 right now from Carolina.
Well, NC State doing a good job of getting the ball inside to the nail, then going, reversing, attacking into gaps, making one more to get numbers on the one side of the zone. You want a 2-on-1 if you can, and they got that.
They've assisted on 4 of their 5 baskets, and Rivers doesn't get it to go. Donarski.
They love to set that screen in transition for Donarski. Good job scouting to get that stop.
The 7th turnover in 9 minutes here for North Carolina. Brooks backs up Donarski.
Too quick, no one going to the glass.
Tar Heels just 2 buckets, and they've only gotten up 9 shots because of the turnovers. That's the first foul on Trieger. Blanca Thomas, the 6'5" freshman out of Charlotte, comes on. And so does Jordan Zubich, a 5'11" freshman. So Bangert going deep down the bench here in the first quarter.
Zubich averages 6 minutes a game. She did get a couple of minutes of run yesterday.
Lorena Awu at 6'5", another freshman, comes on to counter for NC State. Triana Crisp with the spin in the lane, tough shot.
Really interesting lineup on the floor right now for Coach Banghart.
Donarski and Usby both out.
Interesting.
1 minute to go.
Yeah, interesting, because I don't know where their offense is going to come from.
Hayes into the lane to the left hand, and that rattles in.
That is a determined, tough 2 by a graduate student for NC State, Madison Hayes.
She's got 5, Trieger with 8 to lead the way for NC State here in the first.
There's a chance for NC State defensively to really separate with this group on the floor for North Carolina.
Navarre. Crisp. Shot clock's an issue. Gets by Zam Jones, but misses the layup. 1 shot possible here for NC State, as they hold Carolina to 2 baskets in this first quarter.
And one was a 3 by Usby.
Jones into the lane, pulls up over the big and won't get it to go. 16-5, NC State. A dominant first quarter in our first ACC semifinal. Tar Heels and Courtney Banger coming up on the other side. Carolina's lowest scoring quarter of the season, and NC State taking advantage. They're on top 16-5. Taylor Tannenbaum now with head coach Courtney Banger a moment ago.
Coach, State on a 16-0 run. How do you stop the bleeding in the second quarter?
We haven't really gotten settled at all. I think offensively we're a little bit sped up and playing a little tired. We're going to have to work through that.
Alyssa Usby dealing with 2 fouls on the bench right now. What's the plan for her proceeding forward?
Oh, she's a kid you trust. She's going to play.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Yes, Carolina goes up 5-0, and then they don't score again for 8.5 minutes. Usby played 6 minutes and 57 seconds after the 2 quick fouls.
Well, I trust her, and that's why Courtney Banghart, after picking up second foul with 8:07 to play, she left her in. Or excuse me, 5:07 to play, she left her in the game. I think this is a better lineup on the floor for North Carolina offensively than what we just saw at the end of the quarter.
The other news of that first quarter, an injury to Isaiah James, the top player for NC State, had to go back to the locker room and has not returned. Now she is back out on the NC State bench as we start this second quarter.
It's going to take a lot to keep her out. NC State icing ball screens, trying to keep the ball on one side of the floor. North Carolina does something similar with their ball screen coverage.
Our first semifinal of the day, the winner advancing to the championship. The second semifinal, Notre Dame and Duke coming up next. Rivers to beat the shot clock, settled for the 3.
Not very organized on that possession.
Navarre, and the drought continues a minute into this second quarter for Carolina.
So North Carolina scored their 2 baskets by playing through the post. They threw it into the block, they scored inside, and they kicked it out for a 3. They have yet to continue doing that. They've settled for a lot of perimeter shots. Westmore wants the switch because he wants to get Usby guarding a guard, and NC State twice has not handled it well.
Navarre will take it herself, missed it. Carolina does choose to start Blanca Thomas inside, but Gakdang getting set to check in. A woo through Donarski. And it's now 18 in a row.
If I was Donarski, I wouldn't take that charge either.
Kelly behind the screen.
Yeah, all perimeter shots for the Tar Heels right now. And NC State's not giving up any offensive rebounds. North Carolina only has 1 offensive rebound, and they've missed 13 shots.
Playing in their 3rd day in a row, and they are struggling to find the bottom of the net. Jones takes it right at Usby.
Lorena Owu getting some early minutes in the first half as Isaiah James returning to the lineup. This is again Sanaya Rivers delivering it to the big girl who gets it down the deck before she travels. Good body control by the big 6'5" freshman.
James returns. Let's see if they get her involved right away. She'll take it and hit it. Nice comeback, Isaiah James.
Does she even have a sweat? I mean, she's not even on the 4-5 seconds and scores.
Gakdang knocked loose. Usby out to Grant. And finally, the drought ends after missing 12 shots in a row over the last 10 minutes. The Tar Heels add to the tally.
Look for Madison Hayes coming off a flare screen here. She's got the Usby matchup.
James fouled by Donarski.
Watch the work right here. Isaiah James moving without the basketball. Lainey Grant gets all twisted up, not knowing where James is. And then it's just a good loose ball play right here into the corner for Grant.
James hits on the front end, hoping to have a similar postseason run to what she had last year. Only Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers had a better postseason than Isaiah James did in the NCAA tournament.
She averaged 23 points in the tournament and shot better than 50% from the three-point line. Helped NC State to the Final Four.
Gakdang immediately going to work on Trieger.
That's where I would go if I was North Carolina. I'd throw the ball in there and let her go to work. She's become a better passer as well if they bring a double.
James off the ball fake. And on the weak side, knocked out of bounds.
Watch Gokdang get great position off the Donarski screen. Just a little screen across the lane, and one-on-one. Gokdang with the offhand scores on the block.
She had 7 points yesterday and a career-high 16 rebounds in the win over Florida State. They opened up the tournament by beating Boston College. Grant short on the shot. Brooks running with Jones. And the step through for the layup.
In the open floor, the NC State guards are too quick and too crafty at finishing inside. That's what happens when they rebound.
Donarski will take the deep three. And now it's James' turn to run with it. Looking for a shooter, they'll find one. Brooks. Jones misses the shot. Westmore was trying to get him to bring the ball to the left side to get James a touch. And now Grant transition three. Scrap for the rebound. State comes out with it.
Look how high Isaiah James went to get that ball.
Brooks behind the back. Now it's Renaya Kelly. Stepping through, going to the right.
Oh, good box out by Rivers.
Brooks. Oh, and neither side can knock it down right now. Back and forth we go. Kelly going to get called for the push-off. Brooks got a hand in to jar the ball loose. And then Renaya leaned into her.
This is just a good job of moving your feet right here. Brooks gets a little tap, and then you see the push-off right there by Kelly. That's a good one-on-one matchup right there in the middle third. Yeah, North Carolina definitely doesn't have a rhythm about their offense right now. And they have been playing their best basketball yesterday. I thought with them getting Usby and Kelly back, they were whole and healthy and played really well.
Rivers spinning inside. Sanaya Rivers.
You got to attack Usby off the bounce. I think you keep putting her in multiple ball screen actions and try to pick up a third.
Gokdang fouled by Trieger. 27-10 for the Pack.
Low scoring, but effective for the Wolfpack. 17-point lead here in the second, and the guards getting it done in transition.
Facts being facts. I came to take over and I'm doing just that. Live the good life and I ain't going back. Wherever I am, I put it on the...
The old bracket slaps. As we welcome you back to ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball, brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. The 4 teams that are into the semis, including those Duke Blue Devils with the 11 steals, they forced 21 turnovers. And here is what the experts in the analytics department say the best percentages to win the title.
Well, Notre Dame's percentage stayed the same from yesterday. Duke's went up, and the 1 seed, actually 16% went up. I mean, come on, it should be a lot higher than that. I mean, Westmore is here trying to win 4 out of 6 years.
Yeah.
Courtney Banghart's here trying to win her 4th game in 6 years in this ACC tournament.
It has been a dominant performance so far for the Wolfpack. North Carolina has 4 baskets, 5 fouls, and 8 turnovers. A big part of their story, and NC State, their usual balanced attack so far in this first half.
Look, Usby on Rivers, and Westmore goes clear it out. Sanaya Rivers, this is the unscripted offense that we started the game with. That's what I'm talking about. Break it off, recognize matchups. Usby can't afford to pick up a third going into the halftime.
Attack the player in foul trouble. Gokdang trying to go to work in the lane. Rivers helping out, got a block. Donarski in the chaos, open for a 3.
What a heads-up play by Grace Townsend. knowing that Donarski spotted up, and she is an excellent catch and shoot.
And West says, let's run it back with Rivers against Usby. Settled for the jumper. Dang. There's their mismatch on a woo and a foul as we check in with Taylor Tannenbaum.
Last time out, a lot of listening inside their huddle, nodding heads to head coach Courtney Banghart. Part of coach's message, if you see something, take something and shoot something. Catch your breath. Let's go play how we play. And Lexi Donarski added, you know, we've got to fight. Nothing's gone just yet.
You got to dig deep. You heard Courtney tell Taylor at the end of the first quarter that she was noticing some fatigue in her team. 3 games in 3 days at this level in this tournament is not easy. Playing the 1 seed is not easy, especially when NC State has revenge on their mind from that 1-point loss in the regular season to North Carolina.
You know, the adrenaline's been running high all day in anticipation of this game. And now this time it's James working on Usby and stepped on the end line. So Usby wins the last 2 battles.
You know what, Beth, the other thing I'm going to say about why Courtney Banghart trusts Alyssa Usby is because she only played 2 minutes and 35 seconds the first time these two teams met. She got injured, she left the game, and North Carolina still won it. So you're going to ride with your best players right now because you have faith in your team that even if Usby does foul out, you think you can still win the game.
Boy, they are working to make sure Gakdang gets a touch every trip down, and now they're going to have to make something out of nothing. Townsend on the drive, and one!
You have to guard the ball and keep North Carolina in front. This is just a great job of Grace Townsend attacking the top foot of Zam Jones. Gets right by to the rim. When you're late, if you're going to commit that foul, you better hammer them so they don't get it up on the glass.
Townsend, a 3-year starter, over 100 games played at Richmond, and then transferring into Carolina to play in an environment like this one. 7 in a row scored by the Tar Heels.
NC State's focus can't solely be on just trying to take advantage of Usby. There's a nice backdoor cut.
Brooks may have gotten away with some steps. Hits the layup. Good find by James. And another North Carolina turnover, their 9th. It's led to 11 NC State points. Final 2 minutes of this first half. Rivers repositions. And that's going to be a foul on a Wu. And she goes down hurt.
Zoe Brooks on a backdoor. Watch these two players that are at the midline, and here's Brooks, and as soon as the ball goes back over to the strong side, she comes right back door and does a nice job of collecting her balance, reading the defense. As soon as they turned their head and looked at the ball, she cut to the basket. And that's a scoring cut.
On replay, she did hold that pivot foot down. North Carolina just trying to chip away, get something going. Something positive into the second half, and that's the second foul on Zam Jones. And Townsend goes back to the line. Oh no, they're going to give it to Awu, and that is her 3rd.
Back at the Wolfpack now, number 21, Madison Hayes.
It's interesting how sometimes NC State goes away from Isaiah James, right? I mean, there are times when Isaiah, who averages 18 points a game, who's a first-team, back-to-back ACC first-teamer, who is an All-American. I've got her on my top 10.
Hey, a great slate of men's college basketball coming your way today. How about the Sonic blockbusters with Bama, Auburn, and Duke, Carolina? Got Arizona, Kansas in the middle of our basketball sandwich coming up today on ESPN. just down the road a pace. Cooper Flagg and the Blue Devils will be at the Smith Center for that one. Still to be decided how the men's bracket will play out once their regular season ends. Rivers, he'll try the same play. James missed the first one and the second one. Third chance, and that one will come up short, but a foul.
Good extra effort on the boards by NC State. They have done a nice job of crashing the glass. They're getting points in the paint. They're going at the rim. And North Carolina has cut it to 10 now. I mean,
James at the line. Just a 58% free throw shooter. Don't forget, coming up, the halftime report with the studio crew joining us from courtside. Ladies are getting ready. Coach getting the scarf done. Lot of head-to-toe denim for you coming up at halftime. Looks like Carolina denim for the former champ and tourney MVP.
Three-time MVP. 3 titles for Ivory Latta.
Final minute of this first half. Donarski. And count that basket, and she'll head to the line.
That's the way you want to guard Donarski. You want to make her put it on the deck. She's too good, catch and shoot. NC State's got to do a better job of guarding North Carolina off the bounce right now. North Carolina mounting up some fouls against the Wolfpack.
Heels now 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And they've got this thing back into single digits. Down by as many as 17 in this first half. Rivers. That one won't fall. Grant Usby on the run, doesn't have numbers. Could hold for close to the final shot here, about a 2-second differential. This is big for North Carolina. Surviving the first big punch. Townsend on the drive. She has been clutch here in the final 2 minutes. Brooks, they don't get a shot up.
Zoe Brooks had no idea about time and score.
Out of sorts at the finish for NC State, and North Carolina closes on a 14-4 run, and they are right back in it. 20 minutes still to go. One of these teams moving on to the ACC championship game as we send it over to Taylor Tannenbaum.
Joined now by Isaiah James. First and foremost, you left in the first quarter with an injury. What happened there?
You know, they think I'm always flopping. That was an actual intentional foul, but it's cool. We're going to keep going. You know, both teams are good, so we got to stay our heads in the game. You know, last game, you know, we were too worried about the robber game, so now we're worried about one thing. You know, we got a ton of vision right now.
North Carolina made a dent in your big lead there late in the second quarter. What have to shift back in your favor in the third quarter to get back into this?
You know, once again, just staying focused, staying composed, making good shots, making good pass selection. So just playing as a team, not as one.
Thanks, Zaza.
Thank you.
33-26, NC State over North Carolina through the first 20 minutes as we send it over to the ladies in the studio.
Ladies, thanks so much. Welcome into this ESPN halftime report. We got ourselves a game. The mascots going head-to-head, and we saw North Carolina fight to get back in it. It is a 6-point lead for the Wolfpack now at the break as we say hello courtside alongside the Hall of Famer Muffin McGraw, former Clemson sharpshooter Kelly Gramlich, and she already got enough love. You heard 3-time tournament MVP from North Carolina, Ivory Latta. I'm Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. Great to be with you today. I mentioned it. We saw North Carolina fight their way back in there, but Kelly, yesterday, you guys said, I need to see NC State start fast. How about a 21-0 run to really get them going?
This is the NC State we've seen over the last month or so. One of the hottest
hottest teams in the country. They have so many offensive weapons. Tilda Trieger, the true freshman, scores the first 8 points. They're starting to get Zoe Brooks, Zam Jones involved. So offensively great for NC State. North Carolina, we saw some life from them in the second quarter, and that was good to get this game back closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Townsend came off that bench and gave them that spark that they need. She's driving in. She's trying to create havoc, putting a lot of pressure on NC State defense, but this is the start that NC State, if they continue to start like this, they can be a lethal team with everybody playing total team basketball. Everybody's getting their touches, and hey, when Zaza go down and come back in the game, you know she's going to shoot a three.
She came out and she hit that three too, and she was all jacked up about it. But Coach, for North Carolina, what do we need to see more of? I know you guys have been looking at Renaya and the way she played yesterday and wanting to see more of her on the court as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more of her, but they were one and done a lot. They had a long stretch on that 21-0 run. They just couldn't get anything going inside. They went into Gakdang, eventually had some success inside. That's what they got to do. They got to attack the boards a little bit better, but it all starts with their defense for them.
They were able to grab some momentum in that second half, which was huge. Alyssa Usby staying out of foul trouble is big. How about Grace Townsend, the grad transfer from Richmond? Renaya Kelly, I'm honestly not sure if she's 100% healthy because we haven't seen as much of her. She had 23 points against NC State in this first meeting. But Grace Townsend, Ivory, that's why you have a deep bench, which is what UNC has.
It is. I mean, she's out there, smallest player on the court, but got the big heart. In order for Carolina to get back into this game, they have to play Carolina basketball. That's get stops and get out in transition.
It's a 6-point lead for NC State right now at the half. Ladies, thanks so much. Welcome into this ESPN halftime report. We got ourselves a game. The mascots going head-to-head, and we saw North Carolina fight to get back in it. It is a 6-point lead for the Wolfpack now at the break as we say hello courtside alongside the Hall of Famer Muffet McGraw, former Clemson sharpshooter Kelly Gramlich, and she already got enough love. You heard 3-time tournament MVP from North Carolina, Ivory Latta. I'm Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. Great to be with you today. I mentioned it. We saw North Carolina fight their way back in there, but Kelly, yesterday, you guys said, I need to see NC State start fast. How about a 21-0 run to really get them going?
This is the NC State we've seen over the last month or so. One of the hottest teams in the country. They have so many offensive weapons. Tilda Trieger, the true freshman, scores the first 8 points. They're starting to get Zoe Brooks, Zam Jones involved. So offensively great for NC State. North Carolina, we saw some life from them in the second quarter, and that was good to get this game back closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Townsend came off that bench and gave them that spark that they need. She's driving in. She's trying to create havoc, putting a lot of pressure on NC State defense, but this is the start that NC State, if they continue to start like this, they can be a lethal team with everybody playing total team basketball. Everybody's getting their touches, and hey, when Zaza go down and come back in the game, you know she's going to shoot a three.
She came out and she hit that three too, and she was all jacked up about it. But Coach, for North Carolina, what do we need to see more of? I know you guys have been looking at Renaya and the way she played yesterday and wanting to see more of her on the court as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more of her, but they were one and done a lot. They had a long stretch on that 21-0 run. They just couldn't get anything going inside. They went into Gakdang, eventually had some success inside. That's what they got to do. They got to attack the boards a little bit better, but it all starts with their defense for them.
They were able to grab some momentum in that second half, which was huge. Alyssa Usby staying out of foul trouble is big. How about Grace Townsend, the grad transfer from Richmond? Renaya Kelly, I'm honestly not sure if she's 100% healthy because we haven't seen as much of her. She had 23 points against NC State in this first meeting. But Grace Townsend, Ivory, that's why you have a deep bench, which is what UNC has.
It is. I mean, she's out there, smallest player on the court, but got the big heart. In order for Carolina to get back into this game, they have to play Carolina basketball. That's get stops and get out in transition.
It's a 6-point lead for NC State right now at the half. We've got more to get to. As I mentioned, things just starting here in Greensboro. Winner of this game going to play Duke Notre Dame tonight, so looking forward to that and looking forward to the SEC action as well. Not happening too far from here. We'll get you previewed for that, but right now, more of Maria Gakdang for North Carolina if they want to get back in it in the second half.
Let's talk about NC State. Can we give them some respect?
They're coming in with limited expectations, but they have slayed giants.
NC State's men's and women's team reached the Final Four on the same day.
It's the most amazing thing in college basketball that I've ever seen.
Like I said from the jump, man, why not us?
Why not us?
Why not us?
Why not us?
NC State with the 6-point lead at the break. What will they be able to do in the second half? Maybe more from the inside from Trieger. What a great first half she's had. Enjoy the second half. We'll see you afterwards.
Welcome to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. Our first semifinal of the day, NC State had a 21-0 run over an 11-minute stretch in that first half, led by as many as 17, but then the Grace Townsend effect took over. She scored 7 of the last 10 for Carolina to help them close the gap as we welcome you back to the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament. Beth Mowens and Debbie Antonelli back and forth in that first half, and now 20 minutes away from a spot in the finals. It started out going NC State's way.
You know what? I think both teams need to do a better job of playing through their middle, the middle third, through their post. And for NC State, Tilda Trieger leads the team in scoring in the first half. She's got 8 points, and this is how. NC State running some action in the middle third. They screen to get Isaiah James open, and then Trieger rolls down the middle of the lane. North Carolina confused on who's tagging and who's staying. This action for the Heels, again, Maria Gokdang in the paint. They have a little interaction here where they move the ball and a screen inside by Donarski. One-on-one, Gokdang. That's a matchup she can win. I like the Tar Heels playing through the inside, and I like NC State going inside as well.
And that is who's powering forward, presented by Nissan. Third quarter underway. The winner is into the championship against the winner of our second semifinal, Notre Dame and Duke. That's coming up next. Yeah, and that's going to be a foul on India Navarre, and let's send it over to Taylor Tannenbaum.
When I caught up with Carolina head coach Courtney Banghart coming out of the locker room, she laughed when I asked her what changed to only be down 7 points at halftime. She said, we finally just settled in. We just couldn't buy a bucket. The good news is, she said, we haven't even given it our best yet. She also noted their graduate transfer, Grace Townsend, 7 points off the bench. She said, how about little Mighty Mouse? We're going to need more from her in the second half, guys.
You know what, Taylor? While Renaya Kelly was out, Grace Townsend played on the top of the floor at the point guard position and did an excellent job. This is a player that has a lot of experience. She's a former A-10 first teamer at Richmond and has NCAA tournament experience as well.
Yeah, she came here knowing a role. Actually started early in the year when India Navarre was out, and then the late starts when Kelly was out. But anxious to be a part of an ACC championship team.
The game is really slowed down. I thought NC State at times got too preoccupied trying to pick up a third foul on Usby when they need to move the ball and get it below the free throw line.
Usby 3 points and 3 rebounds. She ended up playing 18 minutes and stayed foul free. Brooks got up in the air, ball knocked loose by Navarre, and Carolina's got it.
North Carolina is in the gaps, and that's a foul on Kelly.
It's going to be an offensive foul called on Kelly, her second.
I don't know, there wasn't enough there to me. It depends on what angle you had, and the official had the same angle we had.
Especially when the ball gets knocked backwards like that, kind of no harm, no foul. James, and now draws the foul on the shot, and that's going to be on Lexi Donarski, and that'll be her second.
No, NC State is not a high assist team. They don't turn it over much, but sometimes they dribble into traffic. And because their guards are so good unscripted breaking it off, North Carolina is doing a really good job loading to the ball in the gaps, trying to show numbers to the NC State guards.
Isaiah James at the line. She's only got 1 field goal, but now 5 for 5 at the line.
Oh, you know she's a bucket getter, right? At any time. Like, I think NC State needs to give her option number 1 right here. Plan A is Isaiah James.
See if Usby and Kelly can get it cranked up in this second half the way they did yesterday in the Florida State win. Hayes got a block on Navarre. Here's the run out for James. She'll pull up.
I don't know why she didn't take that to the rim.
Now 1 for 7 from the floor. Usby backing in on Hayes, and that won't go.
North Carolina not giving up anything in transition either right now. Doing a really good job of getting back.
There's Isaiah James knocking it down. Isaiah playing in her 126th consecutive game here at NC State. This terrific rivalry, its 122nd meeting, the 15th time these two have played in the ACC tournament. They are all even at 7 wins apiece. But it's only the second time in 18 years that they are facing each other here in Greensboro. Usby in the lane. Gakdang able to clean it up.
North Carolina is so good at attacking the offensive glass, especially when NC State is in their switching defense. They're getting some matchups that they can get to the glass on.
Nice backdoor Hayes. Usby is able to scramble and get back, stays upright. Trieger offensive rebound and a takeaway. And a turnover back to NC State. Well, for these two storied programs, there you see the numbers. NC State won the first 3 semifinal matchups. Carolina has won the last 4. Offensive foul called on Trieger. That 84 championship, ooh, that's a thorn in Debbie's side. Debbie played for NC State, but she helped the Tar Heels win that year.
We played in 3 title games and only won 1. We lost to North Carolina. My nemesis, Pam Leake and Teresa Brown.
Those two
players that have their jerseys hanging in the rafters at North Carolina.
Carolina with 9 championships, Duke has 8, and then NC State with 7. Notre Dame with 6 titles. All of those coming in the last decade.
NC State doing a good job guarding that hammer action, and then North Carolina gets the ISO with Gakdang. So all that interference on the other side, or that misdirection stuff Courtney Banghart is running, is working.
James!
1-on-3, Beth.
It's a mismatch for Zaza. NC State getting that offensive rhythm back here in the 3rd. Usby. They will not allow Donarski any room to move. 1 for 3 from downtown so far. Hayes hits the triple.
A nice transition 3 in the slot. Good ball movement by NC State. North Carolina needs to counter right here and score.
Navarre spins into a double team.
Watch Isaiah James. There are 3 Tar Heels back. It doesn't matter. She can get to the nail. Money. Madison Hayes, the extra pass. Good job reversing the ball on the top of the floor by Trieger to an open shooter.
It's a 9-2 run out of the locker room for State. Donarski, that's how Carolina gets her open looks on the out of bounds.
I mean, they feature her 80% of the time on their baseline out of bounds plays. You have to know that. You got to find her.
Coming up to the midway point, Owu. And a foul on Gakdang.
NC State doing a much better job in the second half, playing inside, below the free throw line, trying to get the ball to the block.
So Owu to the line, just a 32% free throw shooter. Hey, tomorrow is Championship Sunday, and the Nothing But Net crew will have you covered beginning at noon Eastern with a 1-hour pregame show on ACC Network following the championship game on ESPN, and our wrap-up show. Championship Sunday tomorrow, ACC, SEC, Big 12 finals all coming your way on ESPN. This is the first of our quadruple header from the ACC, SEC, and Renaya Kelly hits from mid-range, her first bucket.
Zoe Brooks with the ball right here, won the most improved player for the ACC, but I like Renaya Kelly as well. I think she has improved tremendously as the season has gone on. North Carolina's definitely found their point guard.
Jones, no look to Awu, and she blows the layup. Quick counter. Usby, and Awu runs into her. Timeout on the floor. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team.
Wagner for the win!
Shit's come on.
It's about to go down. I know you want some more. On your mark, get set, let's start the show.
One seed survives.
Harrison, the three! I can't believe what I just saw. This is what March is all about.
Champ Week here on ESPN. The SEC is coming up later today with South Carolina, Oklahoma, and LSU, Texas. Those games on ESPN 2, 4:30 and 7 o'clock. And the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame are arriving here in Greensboro. They are on deck. And a rematch with the Duke Blue Devils. The Irish won the regular season showdown. And so Duke will have vengeance on its mind. Notre Dame is still fighting for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Duke looks like a solid 3 seed as all 3 triangle teams now are in line to host first and second round.
Mallory Collier in the game, the 3rd post player for Westmore. Another young, inexperienced player, a sophomore going against Gakdang.
Awu checked out of the game with 4 fouls. Mallory Collier is in there. And that'll be the 2nd foul on Zoe Brooks.
Zoe Brooks got all ball on that, I thought, on the dig-in. The official on the baseline called that. I don't know if they were screened out or not.
It has been a grind-it-out kind of game so far, and James fouled by Townsend. They'll say it was on the floor.
Watch the quick hands here, Beth. Donarski just shows the ball to Isaiah James, who almost picked it earlier. And then Townsend commits that foul on the floor to make Isaiah James earn it at the free throw line.
6 for 6 today at the stripe.
NC State in the bonus now, so they need to continue to stay aggressive off the bounce.
One seed trying to advance. The top seed in the ACC tournament has won 18 of the last 25 championships. It's been a good place to be as a top seed, but NC State struggled to survive yesterday. They're now trying to take care of business against their arch rivals.
Madison Hayes does not get enough credit for guarding out of position, undersized all season.
Grant.
That's offense-initiated contact. Good job by the officials to let that go.
James will try for 3.
It just doesn't feel like it's a rhythm 3.
No. He's 3 for 10 now.
It's not in transition and you hesitate. It needs to go below the free throw line, then back out to the 3-point line.
Townsend, with the defense sagging way off of her, will take the ill-advised shot. Just a 21% shooter out there.
Well, there's a reason why you're open,
yes.
Knowing the scout.
Rivers dumps it off for Collier, and another missed layup inside. Townsend drives, dishes. Donarski can't hit it. Usby able to tap it to a teammate. Donarski in the chaos again, and rattles it around and out.
The foul's going to be on Usby.
That'll be her 3rd.
Watch Madison Hayes again. Undersized, gets, that's a dangerous play. Like, that is a clamping or a hook and hold on the men's side. Usually they look at that.
Usby checks back out with 2:38 to go here in the 3rd, and Hayes to the line. State now 12 of 13 with the freebies. Two teams trying to knock out their neighbors and play for an ACC championship. It's been NC State pretty much from the opening tip. And Crisp hits for 3 as they try and work this back into single digits. Been down by as many as 17 this afternoon.
Both teams look fatigued to me. There's a lot of standing going on, not sprinting into their screening action, not sprinting hard into cuts. Having to do so much off the bounce, one-on-one.
James, pretty spin, floats it up and in.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
WNBA stock continues to rise. Rivers defending Grant. Gakdang buries the defender inside.
Crisp, a 25% three-point shooter, so you make her hit some before you adjust. And then Isaiah James, one-on-one, forget about it. So talented in the middle third.
And now that is the 4th foul on Trieger. So 2 of the 3 bigs in big trouble, and that means Collier has to come back. Gakdang. .65% on the season.
She's going to have to dig deep right here because Gakdang has been their best offense all game. Her posting up has created some space for North Carolina. And you know fatigue is setting in.
Maria now with 10 points, 7 rebounds. Here in this third quarter, James almost outscoring Carolina. Hayes. Collier with the offensive rebound. And 1!
There is a lot of red in the building. And you're starting to hear them. Look at Collier, gets great interior position right here and just muscles her way to the rim. I'll tell you what, that was the question mark all season about the interior play for NC State, and Wes Moore has worked hard with his staff to get all 3 of those young players ready to go. It's part of the reason why he is a 4-time ACC Coach of the Year. Look at Collier going to work.
Third stringer saying, give me some minutes, coach. And as Rivers puts the crown on her head. Possession arrow keeps it at this end. And a chance for NC State to pull away a bit further before the 4th. Collier wants it. And can't complete it. Donarski, transition 3, way short.
That's the legs.
I don't think she's come out of the game today.
She's one of their better defenders, and she's certainly their best offensive threat outside the arc.
Rivers will keep and hit. Final 30 seconds of this third quarter. Gotta hurry. Crisp in time. Air ball. They might check there. Wes wants them to check. Is there more time on the clock? And they will not look. So 2.5 for State.
2 dribbles. Make NC State come back to the basketball. Oh, and they're not going to bother.
54-37, a big 10-point advantage in the third quarter for Westmore's club. He'll talk with Taylor when we come back. Big third quarter for Isaiah James, 10 points. And NC State threatening to pull away from North Carolina as we get it over to Taylor.
Coach Moore, Isaiah James nearly outscored Carolina in that third quarter with 10 points. What are you seeing out of your star guard?
Yeah, you know, Isaiah, she loves the big stage, you know. Saw her in high school play a lot. She won state every year. Kid loves the big moment. So sometimes I just got to get out of the way, let her go.
Tilda Trieger, Lorena Awu, both with 4 fouls right now. How do you manage your post play in the fourth quarter?
I'm sorry, talking about foul trouble on the post?
How do you manage your post play in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we're going to have to try to maybe get around in front of her some, make it a little bit harder, and hopefully we can stay out of the foul trouble. But again, she's good down there. She's putting us in tough spots.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Isaiah James, 10 in the third quarter. North Carolina had 11 points. So Taylor's right about that. She was fantastic. She got hurt early, and then she returns to the game. That's her 1 basket in the first half, a triple. Then she goes to work in the third. She is just putting them in the rope-a-dope, and then the score. That beautiful take off the bounce, and Isaiah James is fun to watch.
17 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of assists. 10 minutes away for the winner into the ACC championship game tomorrow. North Carolina seeking its first final in 11 years. NC State seeking its 5th final in the last 6 years. Highlighted by a Westmore three-peat not too long ago. Last year's champions, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, they got next against the 3-seed Duke Blue Devils.
10 seconds, didn't get the ball across. Turnover.
Well, North Carolina's really got to work now to make things happen quickly.
NC State needs to have more pressure on the ball. They're allowing North Carolina's perimeter to see right into the block, and Gokdang has been able to have their way.
It's going to be another foul on a post player. Collier, her first. The other 2 bigs already have 4.
You know what, Beth, I don't think Collier can get around Gokdang. She's going to have to play behind her, but you got to put more pressure on the passer.
Grant tries for the inbound 3. Now Isaiah James has it.
NC State doesn't want to take, the pedal off the gas right here. I think they want to stay aggressive.
Foot off the pedal.
Yeah. Pedal off the gas, foot off the gas. Yeah, you know what I mean.
James.
See, why
not a good look again there.
Why do you want to keep putting pressure on your offense in a late clock? You're having your way with North Carolina, moving the ball, switching sides, getting a piece of the paint. Keep doing what you've done in the third quarter.
Usby. Will they look to her and Renaya Kelly here in the fourth? It has been quiet for both of those players. Kelly not even out there to start this quarter. Grant, the freshman, rejected and stuffed by Rivers. James tries to step through, contact, no, and muscles that one up off the window.
My goodness.
From the backside.
What a tough 2. Are you kidding me?
Biggest lead of the day for NC State. Usby. Spins to the left. Townsend in there to get the rebound, keep it alive, finds Usby in the lane, up and in.
Again, Grace Townsend sneaking in there, getting another play on the offensive glass. She's been fantastic all game.
That's Usby's first basket since the first 2 minutes of the ball game. Hayes back out to Rivers. Steps inside the line for two.
NC State is not giving Carolina any transition. Very few offensive rebounds.
Townsend, nope.
Not going to guard her out there. She's too tough off the bounce getting in the paint.
Seven minutes to go with the 1 seed in control. Trying to avenge a regular season loss to North Carolina, and Collier picks up her second.
This is just ridiculous. Trying to draw the foul. So good at using the glass.
Look at, she shows the muscles even before the ball's through the net. With the flex from Zaza, 19 points today.
We've seen some players in this league celebrate, you know, and then get beat down the floor. You got to get up and get back and play some D.
Usby.
That's going to be on Collier.
Oh, that's her third now.
NC State foul number 42, Mallory Collier, third personal, third team.
Westmore encouraging the boos. Carolina's had some success on the inbounds.
Well, when Donarski's in a game.
Navarro, second chance, got it, and a foul.
Now that is a weight room bucket. Watch her shed the D and stay after it on the offensive glass. Right here, she just moves Zoe Brooks out of the way and then finishes. This has been North Carolina's really best offense, is their offensive rebounding. Right, because they haven't really been able to get anything going. And now they're going to pull some full court pressure right here and look to trap over midcourt.
Got to make something happen. They've shot just 27% from the floor today. West will call a timeout.
Yesterday, Westmore did not call a timeout when her team was under duress in that situation. Today he does.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ally, the bank that's your ally. Well, that is the latest bracketology now with that Richmond win. Charlie Cream thinks Virginia Tech will fall out. The Hokies need some Ivy League teams to lose here late in the season. They could certainly use only 2 Big East teams getting into the tournament instead of 3.
I think you meant the Richmond loss.
Richmond lost to St. Joe's.
So there's 3 really good teams in the A-10. St. Joe's with a win over Richmond. George Mason still alive on the other side of the bracket. I think Richmond is probably going to be a tournament team.
Zoe Brooks at the shot clock buzzer. Things going NC State's way. And they're back up by 18. North Carolina got it down into single digits once late in the first half, but have been on the struggle bus throughout this second half.
So North Carolina keeping with the full court pressure, which I like. Even though your legs are tired, this is what you have to do, is try to get some turnovers, try to speed up the game.
Jones finds a woo.
It's a good job of NC State to attack that pressure.
Navarre, she'll drive it, and another.
She's scored
chance at a three-point play.
Her last 3 baskets have been by India Navarre. This is her second and 1 in this little mini run of hers. She's going off the bounce, aggressively attacking. Doing a nice job of drawing a foul and getting to the line, stopping the clock.
7 points, 3 rebounds.
That's 8 points in a row.
Won't press again. Looks like a 1-2-2. Easily handled by NC State. Jones, baseline drive, finds a shooter. Hayes opposite, way off. Navarre feeling it right now. Attacks the rim again.
10-0 run, India Navarre. And it allows North Carolina to set their pressure. Got to stay off the sidelines.
Brooks into dang offensive foul.
The pressure results in turnovers, but it also results in speeding up NC State. Out of control, Zoe Brooks. No question, dang ready on the backside.
The made field goal by Zoe Brooks.
How about today's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal?
There's no decision making right here. This is put it on the deck and get to the rim. India Navarre on a little 10-0 run by herself for North Carolina to pull them within 13. And it has allowed North Carolina on each basket to set their full court pressure. NC State got to do a really good job here of defending and rebounding, and you got to know where Grant is for a triple.
She has outscored NC State all on her own. Going to work again, lost the handle on the way up, and a foul called on James.
Good call from the bench by Courtney Banghart. Right now, India Navarre is a challenge for NC State to guard.
Get her the ball. And back to the free throw line for the North Carolina native who started out, played a year at Stanford before coming back home. At 27-6, this is Courtney Banghart's best season with the Tar Heels in her 6 years. They'll be hosting first and second round action. So will NC State, so will Duke in all likelihood.
Got to keep the ball off the sideline in the middle of the floor. Harder for North Carolina to trap. And fall back into their zone.
Zan Jones. And now Brooks. Turned back by Usby, under 10 on the shot clock. Jones turns it over. A chance for Carolina to get it into single digits. Townsend, no. Navarre rips it away and back to the line.
A one-person wrecking crew is India Navarre right now.
NC State foul for 3.
This is just a terrible pass right here by the freshman. And North Carolina doing a great job with numbers 2-on-1, and Navarre staying with the play.
Short. Down by as many as 19, trying to make this a 10-point game.
This is a game, Beth. We got 4 minutes to play. North Carolina's got some momentum right here.
Navarre has scored the last 13 points for Carolina. 4 minutes to go. And they're going to call Navarre for a foul on the inbound. And a Bronx cheer from the Rally faithful.
That's just the first team foul also. Got to stay aggressive. Isaiah James has to have the ball in her hands.
Brooks. Oh, she had a foot over the line.
One, you gotta have three.
Gotta have all three. Yep. Brooks.
2 feet in the ball.
Stripped away, another takeaway, Navarre. Will go the distance and miss the layup. 2 chances go awry for the Tar Heels on back-to-back takeaways.
This is where Wes Moore should be at his best with his 4-guard lineup on the floor. And experienced guards in this situation in close games.
They've had 5 turnovers here in the fourth quarter. Brooks. That one won't go. Oh, Wu with the offensive rebound. 3 minutes to play. Usby 15-footer, no.
Good recovery by Madison Hayes. Icing ball screens, and she gets back to recover to Usby to challenge that 15-footer.
NC State trying to close this one out. James. And that's a foul on Hayes.
Lorena Owu does a nice job of finding a lane to the offensive glass and then finishing with her offhand. Really nice job. 8 points off the bench.
The three bigs, Debbie, 18 points today for NC State. Take a 30-second break and be right back. ACC semis. Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN. The top-seeded NC State Wolfpack on the brink of a 5th finals appearance in 6 years, as they are in the hunt for their 8th ACC title. It would be 4 in 6 years if they get to the championship tomorrow and win it. Winner of this one will face the winner of Notre Dame Duke. They are coming up next on ESPN2. And then later this afternoon and this evening, the 2 semifinals from the SEC featuring South Carolina and Texas as the top dogs down in Greenville. 2.5 to go. And it would appear that NC State has survived a scare. A couple of missed layups from Carolina that could have really tightened things up. Owu, 10 points for her today. Navarro, the blocking foul called.
Watch Owu dive for the basketball. Good hands, great finish. Ties her season high with 10.
Missed free throw from India. She's had a big fourth quarter.
She's got to be exhausted. Yeah. She's put the whole Carolina team on her back.
Short on both free throw attempts. And they're going to get a foul on Brooks on the rebound here.
There's nobody better in the free throw second spot than Alyssa Usby. She gets lower than everyone else, and she makes a play on missed free throws. And North Carolina is not a good free throw shooting team.
Injured player for NC State.
I think the officials are going to take a look at this.
And Madison Hayes will get to her feet.
The previous play is under review for an unobserved intentional foul.
Officials will take a look to see what happened on the play. Right side of the screen is Hayes.
Here's Madison right here. I don't see anything there, honestly.
Looked like arms just trying to swat at the ball here. She was holding the back of her head, Madison Hayes was.
Well, Usby is aggressive on the free throw lane. There's no question about it. She's made several plays. Actually, she made winning plays at the end of the BC game to allow them to advance. Maybe an elbow right there by Usby. I don't think there's anything there, though. The officials should come away with nothing here.
Yeah, the follow-through may have just gotten her on the side.
There's nothing excessive or intentional there that would upgrade. There's no whistle on it anyway. Is there a whistle on it? Was there a foul call?
No, it was an unobserved.
Yeah, but I don't know if they had a whistle on it from the beginning.
No, the foul actually was on Zoe Brooks, her fourth, but it was not on the play involving Hayes. I believe it was on the box out of Grace Townsend. .204 to go in this one. NC State and North Carolina, followed by Duke, Notre Dame. And then later today, Debbie, South Carolina, Oklahoma, and LSU, Texas. We're also keeping an eye on the Big Ten semis. It's old school, new school, Michigan versus USC, and Ohio State versus UCLA. Big 12 semis, West Virginia, TCU, and Baylor, Oklahoma State. We'll have all three of those finals tomorrow. ACC, SEC, Big 12.
After review, no further penalties on the play. Contact is deemed incidental.
Yeah, it took them a little bit to get there, but that's the right call. Yep. I think Usby also got Townsend in the head as well. So, I mean, I'm glad the officials came away with nothing there, because there was nothing extra to upgrade Usby on.
Hayes went back to the locker room just for a check. So Zam Jones comes back in, and it's Townsend at the line for a pair.
Got to be ready for full court pressure here.
She has earned the minutes from Courtney Bangert here in this fourth quarter. Gets a couple. Back to an 11-point game.
You would think with 4 guards on the floor that NC State would never have trouble handling any full court pressure.
Under 2 minutes to go.
Well, you can't throw that lofty pass, though. That's one thing. And they're trying to dribble through it. And a good job by Navarre to get a hand on it.
And that'll go to Carolina. And here is another chance to get it under 10 points.
NC State has been bothered by the full court pressure. They've turned it over. 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter. And I think all of those since they put the press on.
Townsend for 3. Able to save it to Usby. Let's see if they can get a better shooter look. Here's one. Grant doesn't go. And a foul going for the rebound. That'll be a foul on Navarre. Chances have been there, Debbie. They've had 3 possessions to try and get it into single digits and couldn't find the bottom of the net. And NC State has allowed them to lurk and linger.
No lingering.
They're going to work the shot clock, which will also work that game clock. Get a good look from 3. And a foul on Gokdang trying to box out Awu.
You know, North Carolina played so well against BC. And then avenged the loss against Florida State from the regular season.
What a hand for Awu. Her best showing of the season, and a good time for it here in the ACC semis.
1 minute remaining.
Final minute of our first semifinal. These two teams meeting for the 15th time in the ACC tournament. And now North Carolina State will have the upper hand, head-to-head, 8 wins to 7. in the storied histories of both these two programs. And the dream appears to be alive for a shot at an 8th ACC title, which would tie for second most with the Duke Blue Devils behind North Carolina. Ritters missed it. Usby has it. On the run, Navarre, no. And Bangert says don't foul. And the Wolfpack fans are up and at him. The #1 seed advances. And they'll go for a 5th ACC championship. Their 5th final in 6 years. And they knock out North Carolina.
The interior play for Westmore, a big difference in the game today. You know the guards are going to deliver. James with 19, but Trieger had 8 in the first half, and Owu had 10, which ties her season high. And the Wolfpack didn't shoot it well. Give credit to North Carolina for some of that, but North Carolina never found an offensive rhythm all game.
Duke Blue Devils are getting ready backstage. Set to take center stage against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, the defending champs, as we send it over to Taylor.
Joined now by Isaiah James. She said, we're back, because I talked to you earlier in this game. We know about this rivalry. You dropped one at their place a few weeks ago. What was the difference in this one to come out with a win?
You know, after the game, they did something to us personally, and we took it on the chin. You know, we had to come here in Greensboro and do our job.
What about your post play today? We know about the guard play, what you can do, but what about your post players?
You know, Coach, we always talk about being McDonald's fries, and they was hot and salty today.
For you personally, Coach Moore said to me, sometimes with Isaiah, I just got to get out of her way and let her go. What was your personal mindset in this game?
You know, like I said, last game I was a big head, so I had to make my head look smaller, be humble, be more focused, and do it for my team.
All right, good luck tomorrow playing for an ACC championship, Zah.
Yes, thank you.
Guys.
Great.
Thanks, Taylor. So the bracket will have NC State moving on as we await the start of Notre Dame and Duke championship game tomorrow at 1 o'clock on ESPN.
What a win. A chance for a 4th title in 6 years. Incredible job by Westmore and his staff to put themselves in position. And let's see what happens next with Notre Dame and Duke on the deck.
Bracket slap coming for NC State. They move on, and the #1 seed will play for an ACC championship. Up next, it's college basketball live scoreboard, and then we'll be back at the bottom of the hour for our second semifinal matchup with Duke and Notre Dame. And the final score here, NC State 66, North Carolina 55. Isaiah James with 19 points and 9 rebounds. Madison Hayes and Lorena Owu also in double digits as the Wolfpack held North Carolina to just 17 buckets on 28% shooting on the afternoon. #1 seed moving on. We'll be back for more hoops after this break with college basketball live scoreboard.
There it is. As you see, it's official for NC State. Isaiah James punching their ticket into the finals. This will be their 5th title game appearance in the last 6 tournaments. This team knows how to win. They show it today. A rivalry game here in Greensboro, North Carolina. And it is NC State that gets the 66-55 win over North Carolina. As we say hello courtside alongside the Hall of Famer Muffin McGraw, former Clemson sharpshooter Kelly Gramlich, and North Carolina great Ivory Ivory Latta. I'm Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. Great to be with you for the next half hour as we count down to the next semifinal game here between Notre Dame and Duke. But before we get to that, we've got to talk a little bit about what we saw in this one, because we talked this game yesterday. We said we wanted to see NC State come out strong early, Ivory. If they were going to win, they did that, and they were able to maintain that in the second half. How?
Absolutely, they did. They came out and they played aggressive. They played team basketball. Everybody on the team scored today. They shared the basketball. Zoe Cook, she came in and she gave them that spark off the bench. Sanaya Rivers, she's going to do what she do, but Isaiah James is their scorer. She came out there with a lot of heart and passion, and she got them going.
Isaiah James was phenomenal in the second half, but I think the big difference for NC State, for a national audience, you may have watched NC State at the beginning of the year. They were blown out by South Carolina. They lost at TCU because they couldn't really figure out their post presence. They were replacing River Baldwin and Mimi Collins, and they had a bunch of freshmen. And just credit Wes Moore and Nikki West, associate head coach, post coach, for what they've done with these post players. It was Tilda Trieger in the first half. She had the first 8 points of the game for NC State. And then it was Lorena Awu in the second half with 10 points. That's 2 true freshmen. And they do not look like freshmen anymore. Once NC State figured out their post play, they have just taken off.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The pick and roll was really working. They're getting their posts in a position where they can catch and score, making it as easy as they can for them. Kind of a surprise for have Trieger be the leading scorer at the half, but you know Isaiah James is always going to show up. North Carolina, a valiant effort, but they looked a little tired. Third game in 3 days.
We're going to have Isaiah James join us here on the desk in just a little while, so looking forward to that. Coach, this is the team, ACC Coach of the Year, Wes Moore. They played for an ACC championship last year and, of course, lost to Notre Dame, but they've won 15 now out of their last 16 games. How dangerous is this NC State team with the way they're playing right now in March?
Well, I think they have a chip on their shoulder about who's got the best backcourt in the country, who's got it in the conference. Everybody's talking about Notre Dame's backcourt, which is exceptional, but so is NC State's. They're out to prove a point. I think Sanaya Rivers has been a little under the weather. She hasn't been quite herself, but Isaiah James definitely showing us what she can do. It's going to be the battle of the guards tomorrow, or tonight, if Notre Dame should win this game, I should say.
If, Coach. We'll see. Notre Dame Duke coming up a little bit later, but I was praising the post players earlier. In the end, NC State is run by these guards, and Isaiah James is one of the best scorers in the country. Sanaya Rivers, one of the more versatile guards in the country, and then Zoe Brooks, I think one of the more underrated guards in the country with how she can score. We know you need great guard play to win in March. If one of those players is having kind of an off night, the other two aren't. They're not all three going to be off at the same time, and that's what makes NC State so lethal.
It does. They pick each other up. You know, with one down, they always lifting each other up. But literally, y'all, when you look at the NC State team, Isaiah James is their go-to. That's that alpha. When they need that bucket, they will. Like I said, she gets knocked down, go out the game, she coming back in, they find her. It's like they have a method. It was like, oh, she got knocked down, she's good. Let's get her a 3, let's get her a 2. She really fused this offense, and she's one of the prolific scorers.
She got knocked down, she went in the locker room, she came back out, she hit a 3, she finished with 19 and 9, she was fine. Real quick before we move on, this North Carolina team, they were fired up yesterday, obviously playing 3 games in 3 games, Ivory, is very tough, and they're on that 4 seed line right now. We'll talk to Charlie Cream in just a little while about the impact and what this looks like for some of the teams that are playing today. But what's North Carolina's mindset need to be moving forward?
Mindset right now is get everybody healthy, be focused, and get ready for the NCAA tournament. They're going to need Renaya Kelly to run this offense. Whatever nagging injuries that she have, get her all the treatment that she needs. If no practice, just sit on the sideline and treat. And just to continue to play with each other, and they can't decide on going on one-on-one basketball. Find a way to get the ball inside, play inside, outside basketball.
Renaya Kelly played 16 minutes.
Yeah.
She's obviously not fully healthy. She had 23 points the last time these two played when UNC beat NC State. So that is a problem. If they want to go as far as they can in the NCAA tournament, Sweet 16 and beyond, Renaya Kelly's got to get back. You're exactly right, Ivory. Treatment. But I think that's the big thing, is for UNC to get healthy. They still are probably going to host in the NCAA tournament. That's huge for them. They haven't done that in a long time. I think UNC could make a good run.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to host. I don't think there's any question they're top 16. I would argue that they could be that last 3 seed. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. A lot of chalk in all the tournaments, so there's not going to be a lot of movement in that top 16.
Why do we have all these lovely ladies smiling faces? Ivory Latta, of course, you're right in the middle with that gold basketball. You go ahead, my friend. It's International Women's Day, and man, look at the crew of women we have in front of and behind the scenes here. Appreciate everyone for the hard work, all the men and women, but especially the women's crew here at the tournament on International Women's Day. And we just had a good one here to start things off at the ACC tournament semifinals. NC State getting the 66-55 win over North Carolina. Let's hear from the ACC Coach of the Year, Wes Moore, in the locker room.
That's the effort. Good job. One more, and then we'll get some time off. Okay, spring break, mini spring break. All right, but we got to make sure we're ready from the tip tomorrow. Get a little more recovery time today since we played the first game, so that's good. I don't know. Do y'all want to stay here and watch the first half, or and then go at halftime?
Yes.
Go back and watch the rest of it at the hotel. Okay, we'll do that. All right. And again, proud of y'all. I know it was a rough game, physical game. Hopefully everybody's okay. Try to stay off your feet, get some rest, fluids. Let's get ready. One more, baby. One more. Here we go.
I mean, cool, calm, and collected. Is that how you win 15 out of 16 with Coach Wes Moore? We've got one of his star players, Isaiah James, here with us now. She had 19 and 9, and we all want to hear about your performance. But after hearing that, I got to talk about your head coach, because you guys get that win. You're getting ready now to play in the finals again, and he just is like, what do y'all want to do? You want to hang out? How much does Wes Moore, his temperament and how he handles things, really drive the way that this team is?
You know, we just act like we've been here before. You know, it's not a surprise to us, so it's no point of, getting rowdy and stuff. It's time to be focused. We're a ton of vision right now. We only got one goal in this tournament, and we're here to do it.
I like it. All business.
Yes.
So it was a physical game out there.
Yes.
You were on the floor quite a bit. You went back to the locker room. You came back. What was it like? Did you feel like there was a little out of control?
Yeah, I felt like, once again, like last game, I felt like it was a rival game. Our heads was big. We were too focused on the crowd. So this game, we really had to lock in, be humble, focus on our smart selections and things like that, taking smart shots, and it got us it got us the win.
Isaiah, when you were a freshman, NC State won an ACC championship. You were a part of that. You weren't out there putting 19 up every night, though. So what would it mean to win an ACC championship as the leading scorer for NC State?
It feels good to, actually be on the court and score those points and, share it with my new teammates and things like that. So, Madison was there, too. So for us, too, to actually be here again together, it feels good.
As being a leader on the team, and you just out there in your groove, you got your bounce, you ain't been chewing bubblegum lately.
I know. I had to throw it out.
How does it feel whenever you're in that groove and your teammates are finding you?
Yeah, sometimes when you find yourself in a groove, sometimes you get too much of the groove, and you just got to slow yourself down, allow the game come to you, and take good shots.
He was able to do that today. 19 and 9 for Isaiah James as #1 seed. NC State takes care of business against their rivals. Enjoy the first half. I heard you're going to be hanging out here somewhere watching it, and we'll see you back in action tomorrow. Thanks for the time.
In Greensboro, coming into today, 4 teams stood. Duke and Notre Dame semifinal action. Winner punches a ticket into the ACC Tournament Championship. Pick it up under 7 in the third. Duke down by 1. Jaden Donovan gets the steal, pushes it down court and feeds Taina Mayer. Duke takes a 1-point lead, one of 16 Notre Dame turnovers. Moving ahead to the fourth, Notre Dame down by 6. Hannah Hidalgo pokes the ball away, and she gets all the way down court for the bucket and the foul. Hidalgo, she only has one speed, and that's green. A minute later, Duke now up by 5. Ashlyn Jackson forces the loop ball. Another defensive turnover, and it leads to this. Alucia Kanawa, Blue Devils smothering Notre Dame as they go up by 7. Final 125, Notre Dame rolling, but they run into this buzzsaw. Hidalgo drives in and misses. Reagan Richardson collects and finds Akanawa. Game over. Duke wins 61-56 and is heading to the ACC championship game. Let's see who the Blue Devils would face on Sunday. It's either UNC or NC State. Fast forward to the third quarter. NC State up 35-26. Isaiah James, you always got to know where she is on the floor. Fading away, knocks down the jumper. She finishes with 19 points, 9 rebounds. Later, lead at 11, Madison Hayes, too much space. NC State leads 42-28, one of her 2 threes. In the fourth, NC State rolling, Sanaya Rivers, let me get in on the action. Pull up, pop. NC State wins 65-55 to punch a ticket into the championship. That is their 5th ACC title game they've reached in the last 6 seasons. Let's get out to Greensboro, where Kelsey Riggs Cup anchors our coverage.
Justin, thanks so much. What a day we've had here in Greensboro, North Carolina, alongside Hall of Famer Muffin McGraw, Kelly Gramlich, former Clemson sharpshooter, and North Carolina great Ivory Latta. I'm Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. Guys, two great semifinal games, and let's start with the later one. It was Duke and Notre Dame going head-to-head, and Kelly, it looked like Duke just came out and wanted more.
I think that's exactly right, Kelsey. Duke wanted it more. I thought their urgency was there from the beginning. Their defense was on point as always, especially their half-court defense, even transition defense, getting back so Notre Dame couldn't get anything in transition. They shot the ball a little better from three. I thought that was a key. But overall, Duke just controlled the basketball game, and they were able to be a little more efficient in crunch time down the stretch.
And they did a good job, but when you look at Duke, you look at Alucci, she had a perfect game. She had one of the toughest assignments in this game. You are guarding the top player in the nation in Hannah Hidalgo, and you're scoring for your team, and she did one heck of a job.
I thought Duke came up with a lot more 50-50 balls, and you see that statistically in the offensive rebounds. Second chance points, 14-4. That's the difference in the game. You got to go want the rebound. That's something you can control.
Notre Dame not able to knock it down from the outside today either. They were 3 of 15. Hannah Hidalgo led them with 23, but everybody else not really contributing on the offensive side. The other game, and the winner, of course, was Duke in this first one, so they would see the winner of North Carolina and NC State, and we're going to get Duke and NC State going head-to-head. What did NC State coach do right today to win this game?
They came out of the gate ready to go. They were up big. They had a 21-0 run. I mean, they were in total control of the game. Aside James in and out of the lineup because of injury. She was getting beat up today, but she still ended up with 19 points.
It felt like NC State just had more weapons, more pieces they could go with offensively, and it's no coincidence, guys, both teams that won the rebounding battle today won the game.
Absolutely. One word, Zaya James. Buckets.
She was getting buckets. We'll see if she is able to get more buckets tomorrow. This is the Wolfpack's 5th title game appearance in the last 6 tournaments. Of course, they played last year in the finals. It was Notre Dame who won it all. Notre Dame sent home by Duke. So Duke, NC State coming your way here in Greensboro tomorrow.